Some conversations will be mind-blowing and you'll sit there and you'll have the most profound change.
Okay, everyone, it's Janis 52 Conversations, and I'm joined today for a little soul inspiration chat with Steve, who's going to introduce himself as who he is today, or who he is tomorrow, or who knows? Who are you?
Who am I today? I'm feeling pretty well in myself today. Who am I? I know you always ask this question. It's quite a difficult one because people normally describe what they do and how they see themselves. But I'll start with that and then we'll see where it goes.
We can unpick it.
Yeah. So I'm an artist. I'm a technology person. I help Janis with editing her videos and stuff. I'm interested in sorts of websites and video editing and cryptocurrency and all that kind of nerdy stuff. But in the past 3 years, art has been my return to calling from childhood. I kind of suppressed it for many years. Who else am I? I'm a hopefully devoted husband, dog parent to my little dog Bruno. Hope to have kids soon. That's on the radar. And lately I identify as being someone with an illness just because it's in my forefront. So I've got chronic renal failure, but like I said, I'm feeling well today, and everything is good. So
that's a whole bunch of things for us to start to unpick. So first of all, I'm going to champion that you're my tech guru, because I'm rubbish at tech and I'm like, oh, whatever. But anyway, so there was loads of things in there. So I want to go to the reawakening of the suppressed artist in you and how that came about. What happened for that to come to the forefront?
Thank you. Yeah. Well, first of all, when I was a kid, I drew so much. I didn't really socialize with many people. I was quite shy. I had a few close friends and that. But I would just like sitting there with the TV on with my parents, just drawing, copying like animals out of books or making up computer game covers and stuff like that. I just drew for hours and hours and lost myself in it and wouldn't talk, and was just really content doing that. And then I went through school and did art and everything, did well in GCSE, started A-level. And then the teacher wasn't too encouraging. We had to do like a large project, like a large scale drawing. And he come out one day and said that I can't draw large scale. And I took that as I can't draw at all. And
you believed him?
Yeah, I believed him straight away. And like dropped out, so I didn't really draw for years after that. So then fast forward back to it was about 3 years ago, January. I was reading a blog post about a guy who was talking about calling and stuff, and he just asked one simple question: what did you like doing what did you spend your time doing as a child most of the time? And I wrote video games and drawing, and it kind of gave me the impetus to start drawing again. And I drew a few pictures of my dog using pen and ink and stuff, and when I started to see it again, it started to inspire me to draw more. And I started drawing people and random people on Facebook and stuff. Started posting it, and then sometimes people would offer to buy it and stuff like that, and that reinforced that this
path. You can draw.
Yeah, it kind of started there, and then now we're 3 years on. I've got my own art studio, so I've got a dedicated space where I can paint and make a lot of mess and express myself and stuff.
I love the sound. I love the sound of that. A dedicated space where you can paint and make a mess and express yourself.
Yeah, it is good. Sometimes I just paint the walls and I'll put paint on my hand and slap it on the wall. There's no rules. I can just like throw paint at the wall if I want. Obviously, you can't do that at home, can you? So
no, I love what you just said though. The fact that there's no rules, because to feel the freedom of your creativity, then there need not be rules, right? Because otherwise, how could you lean into it fully?
Yeah, that's right. It's a bit of a paradox though in art, because there are no rules, but it seems to be kind of successful. You need to have a kind of niche as well. So yeah, you kind of have to. Well, I don't know if it's entirely true, but you look at a lot of artists and they've got their own kind of style and niche. Maybe not niche in terms of subject, but definitely in style anyway. People kind of develop a style and stick with that.
I see. So do you think you have a niche as yet or not yet?
Yeah, I've been told I've got a kind of unique style. And my niche, I'm finding it, I'm expressing myself around my own issues and other universal issues, really. Like, for example, I'm painting a picture of me on dialysis at the moment, and I found it quite cathartic because it was kind of dealing with what I'm going through at the moment on canvas. And before that, I did a nude painting of myself. This was about 6 months ago. And I was looking at this artist online, and he did these really wacky nude paintings. He was like, his penis was choking himself. It was really bizarre, and it really triggered me.
Right. Like, what's that saying? What's that about?
Yeah, and I realised it was about my own insecurities. So I dove into that head on and painted myself nude, and it kind of chased a lot of insecurities I had about my body. And there I had my nude body in front of myself, and I'd realised that there's really not that anything to worry about. It was just laid in front of me and kind of took the power out of it. And since then, my body shape has changed a lot from being ill, which is, I guess, is kind of ironic in a way, because I spent many years trying to get to this body shape, and then it kind of happened on its own through illness, which is not, like I said, the best way to do it, but it is what it is, and I kind of appreciate myself a lot more, and I feel like it's a gift in a way, and I won't go back to that body size afterwards.
It's really profound, some of the stuff you're saying, and it's kind of reminded me of a conversation way back when with a lady called Alison, who said after one of her chemo sessions one day, she was walking through the park saying, gosh, I'm really glad that I got cancer. And it was kind of because the learning and the understanding and the growth that she gained from the illness has brought her to where she is in her own understanding. So it's much the same. I kind of stopped in my head when you said that you were painting yourself whilst going through your dialysis. I mean, that's like, wow, what a way to channel your thoughts, your feelings around that experience, right?
Yeah, it definitely helps. Yeah.
So have you shared this with, are you sharing any of this with other people going through the same stuff as you?
No, I haven't shared the dialysis one yet. I need to finish it. I'm going to go and do some work on it later today. But yeah, I will do.
Interesting. Yeah, when you look at that, as far as you've got, although it might sound a strange question, do you recognize that as yourself? Do you feel completely attached to it?
Yeah, I do recognize it as myself, and it's a really weird experience because I'm looking into the eyes of it, even though it's not like looking in a mirror, and it's not 100% realistic, but I can see myself in it, and it's quite healing looking at it in a weird way. It's yeah.
I can see how that would be healing and cathartic, because although it's, as you say, it's not a reflection of yourself, in actuality it is how you see yourself through that experience, right?
Yeah.
And everything that we learn from our experiences is what takes us to the next experience. So that in itself is pretty profound, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
God, there's so many places that I want to go with this conversation, but we're only going to make it a small one because we can have more conversations, can't we? So
yeah.
I want to pick up on the thing that you said, just in case anyone else is listening. The words that you used, identifying as somebody with a chronic illness, what has that meant for you? What has that meant?
Well, I realised that was a funny choice of words as well, but I said that because I had a kidney transplant 12 years ago, and like soon after I had the transplant, I didn't identify as someone who had kidney disease. It didn't bother me anymore.
Yeah.
But now it's at the forefront, and that transplant failed about 6 months ago. That's why I identify more with it, because because I'm feeling the effects of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like with kidney disease, I feel like, I don't know, like I said before, I don't feel as ill as I did because I'm on dialysis 3 times a week at the moment, and that's helping. But I guess I feel differently after I have a transplant, and I'll just carry on and be at kind of normal health again.
Absolutely.
So I'm identifying as that at the moment.
Do you think part of that identification and leaning into it has anything to do with age, circumstances in life, and plans that you have, that it's kind of brought your awareness to, do you know what, I'm married, I want to have babies, I want to do these things? Do you think that has any correlation in the way that you feel?
Yeah, definitely. And it's all very different to when I was 28 going through it. I didn't have any symptoms either last time.
Right.
Going through this time, when I was aware that things were about to get worse, but I wasn't feeling ill. I didn't expect any symptoms, and I got really sick. Got anemia, and I was sleeping an awful lot and just couldn't function. It was a big shock.
I was going to say, because going through some of that journey with you in terms of like working together, it was like you just didn't know what was going on, right? It was like, what is this?
That's right, actually, because at first I didn't know what was going on. I thought I had asthma or something, because I couldn't walk very far and I was just really out of breath. But it turns out it was the anemia and the low blood oxygen that was causing that. So it was just a shock, because I was doing kung fu 3 times a week, and I was a bit more overweight. I was like pretty active with it, and getting quite strong, and then all of a sudden I couldn't walk that far, and then I had to go off work sick and everything. So it was a shock, and wanting to have children and stuff and things like that. It's just, this period has put things into perspective and made me grateful for the little things. I know people say that all the time, and you don't really see it until you go through it yourself, I guess.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that it would really be okay. This is what's real for me, and this is what matters to me, and this is my focus. So very much kind of leaning into that. I'm aware that we don't want to talk too long, really. So I guess I'm trying to think of what would be, in terms of insights or something to share with people based on the things that we've dipped into today. What would be your parting message or words for anyone that's listening to this?
Well, something came to mind, that not to be afraid, not to be afraid of being ill, really, because there are good sides to it. I know, obviously, there are levels of illness, and you can be terminally ill, which I can't really speak to, touch wood, but in my own experience of having kidney failure, it's given me time to reflect and see what's important, and just not to be afraid of, if you're going through something similar, not to be afraid of it, kind of try and look on the bright side, and it forces you to slow down, so you have to reflect and see what's important. It's it's definitely stopped me chasing a lot of things and worrying about trivial things that I did before.
Yeah, I suppose it's the gift of the insight and the awareness that it gives you.
Yeah,
which seems like a nice place to leave this conversation. And I know already we're going to have to come back to some of these things to explore even more. Thanks for sharing some of that. I'm sure people are going to listen to that and be inspired by different parts of it for different reasons, and looking to you to see how perhaps they can take some learnings from your journey thus far, which is always the case with these conversations. It's all about learning and awareness and growth, isn't it? So hopefully there's been some sound bites for people's souls that they can go and have a little think about. And maybe what you're going to have to do is share a bit of your art that we can put out with this one. We can put something out there.
Sure.
So thank you for spending some time with me. Look after yourself.
I will do.
And we look forward to seeing more art from you and chatting to you in the future.
Yeah, thank you so much, Janis.
Oh, thank you. Right. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, bye. I'm going to try and find the stop recording.